today's video, you join me for a track day at Oulton Park. Oulton Park is a circuit that is a national treasure since it came into use in the early 50s. Over the last nearly 7 decades, the layout has changed multiple times to the now 2.7 mile circuit. I've previously not ridden around Oulton Park, but had visited and spent countless hours on PlayStation and Xbox games, so I was excited as it catered for things that I love at a circuit, such as fast corner entries and lots of elevation change. The weather looked mixed, and whilst the wet weather tyres are fitted in the Yamaha R1, the track didn't look wet enough to use them. I decided to take the CB500 out for the first session, which proved to be a good choice to help learn the lines. Sighting laps were done, it was time to open the CB up a little.
First session is out of the way. Had a bit of a fight because decided to ride the CB500 because I couldn't be bothered changing my wets out back to dries on the R1, but in the process I wanted to get the centre stand off the CB500 because it was touching the chain. I tried getting it out and it wouldn't come out, so I decided to angle grind it off, borrowed an angle grinder, then touched the hot bit of metal, and I don't know if you can see that, but I'm starting to get a blister on that hand there. Also touched the angle grinder while the disc was spinning, so that wasn't ideal. But after all that, got out on the bike, fine. Brakes feel a little bit wooden because I chucked a set of used pads in. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it was what I had. CB500 feels alright. Track seems mostly dry. However, it is just starting to rain a little bit harder, and I checked the weather forecast and a weather radar, and the rain's really starting to come in now. By the next time I go out, it's probably going to be absolutely hammering it down, so most likely I'll be on the R1. I didn't put any GoPros on from the first session, so you won't see that, so I'm sorry, but you may see some pit wall stuff. But yeah, there we are. Gonna get the GoPros out now, stick them on the R1 for the next session, or at least have them out for whichever bike, depending on the weather. And yeah, see how we go. Now the first session's out of the way, can relax and just crack on. See you in a minute.
Second session saw a dry track and still no rain, as well as a red flag before we even completed the first lap. After waiting in pit lane to restart, I got chatting to a gentleman on his SV650 race bike who commented about the lack of power he had. I responded that having so much power would be a fine thing, as at best the CB500 is between 52 and 55 horsepower, and the likelihood is quite a lot less. Over the first lap or two, we exchanged places a number of times before his power advantage got the better of me. third session passed without incident, and with still no rain, I decided to stay on the CB500. Bennett's organised track days, none other than road racing legend John McGuinness happened to be around to support. I approached him in pit lane and he kindly agreed to come out with me for a session. Showed me the way, and then of course decided to show me up with a couple of wheelies in various points on the circuit before disappearing up the road on his Honda Fireblade.
Right, I know I said I would go out on the R1 when it rained, and that was the plan, but it hasn't rained all morning, so I've been riding around the CB500, having a really good time actually. Touched the pegs down a couple of times, so it's kind of the indication that I need to get rid of those standard pegs and put some rear sets on it, but that'll happen at some point. Also decided to go out with John McGuinness for a session, just to see if there's anything glaringly obvious that I was doing wrong. I mean, I felt okay, passing a few people passing me, the standard for a track day. But yeah, good to get a bit of a thumbs up from John McGuinness to say there's nothing major I need to improve, just a little bit smoother here, a little bit faster there, carry some more corner speed, brake later, standard things really. Yeah, feeling pretty good. He recommended getting off the CB500, so actually now it's lunchtime, I'm going to go in and change over to the dry tyres for the R1, and you know what that means? It'll rain as soon as I've done that. But anyway, I'm going to chance it, we'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll cut to, in a moment, me spinning some laps on the R1. Fingers crossed we've cured all the problems. Let's get into it.
Just call me Nostradamus, because as I correctly predicted, as soon as I started changing wheels in the R1, the rain would come down. heavier and heavier, and I wasn't really learning much or enjoying the time out on the R1. I don't enjoy riding in the rain quite so much, and especially when I've already had a good time in the dry, I wasn't too fussed.
As you can probably tell from either if you can hear the rain on the roof or you can see water on me, it properly rained. Gonna call it a day because there's only one more session left. And yeah, had a good day. Should have really put the dry tyres in the R1 earlier and then I'd have had a proper play round on that. But look, came to Oulton Park, love the track, rode around with the CB500 and tried out the new tyres on that. Rode around the R1, think the brakes are sorted on that. Rode around with John McGuinness, going home in one piece. Can't say fairer than that. Really happy. On to the next one. Don't know whether I'll do another track day this year or not, or whether this will be the last one, but we'll see. I hope you've liked this vlog video, track day vlog. You said do another one if I did another track day, and this is it. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please let me know. If you haven't, let me know. Just tell me. Thanks very much for watching, and keep your eyes peeled for what's coming next. Cheers.